All right, welcome back, guys. Really quickly, you're about to be introduced to my basic machine learning rating system for sports betting. It's something that I produced for my AlgoWorld community about a couple of months ago. We used it to kill the regular season for hockey, the NHL, as well as March Madness and the regular season for the NBA as well. Now, I'm specifying regular season because when it comes to playoffs, things start to get flipped when it comes to ratings. So definitely utilize it for the regular season, improve it as you can, and learn a lot. But, but if you want to learn how to build some more advanced algorithms that take in odds data as well as predictions from other data shown online to then create a model that can be utilized in the regular season, postseason, preseason, as well as the playoffs, you would want to definitely check out my V1 script, and then my V2, which is for player props. So you can see each individual's predicted batting rates, pitching rates, etc. And we even creating V3, which is going to help you understand how to predict the spread, which is a lot more profitable than doing money line bets. So if you want to learn how to build all of these amazing sports betting models directly with me, sign up for AlgoWorld. I'm going to take you through it all. You're going to see it all. And you also even get the signals. You get signals for options as well. You see here. But yeah, we do a whole bunch of shit. Sports betting options, sports betting signals as well too, option signals, and a whole bunch of other algorithms that you could learn to build, as well as get the signals for. So sign up for that. Other than that, sit back, get your computer ready. Make sure you have your IDE set up, ready for you write some code, and get ready to sit back and just learn some information, run it, learn some things, and improve on it. All right. So see you guys in the video. Peace. All right, welcome back, guys. Sorry it took so long. We're gonna finally get into a video about the basics of writing a machine learning model to help predict sporting events. It's kind of hard creating this one for two reasons. One, a lot of people don't have the background in data science that I do, so it's really hard to explain my full project to you guys as it's a multiple file project, and I actually needed help with that project as well. That's what we're still working on it. Because even that requires a lot. So explaining it is kind of hard. So I wanted to create this as kind of like a buffer to like an intro to machine learning for you guys. Like this one is a simpler project that is actually pretty accurate, even though it's missing some biases. There's some biases inside of it. It actually does produce a pretty similar result. And even as a fan, I was looking at some of the results, and I'm like, as a fan, I'm like, I kind of agree with some of them. So you're going to see towards the end how it works. But I definitely wanted to create something simpler for people who don't have my background, and just want to kind of get something up and running pretty quickly and understand the concepts that they can build upon to then get to the level that I'm at now, or the level that me and my team are kind of building at right now. All right. So welcome to my new computer also. I finally got it set up for all of this. So now, as I promised, let's just get started with this. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use a ridge regression model, which is a machine learning model, to get a ranking of certain teams based on the stats this season. We're going to focus on NBA, but I also tried this with NHL, and it worked pretty much similarly. So I'm also going to try it out with some other sporting events too. I think NFL also has some good data as well too. Baseball, that's another one that we really can't use it for baseball. You're going to see why, but you're going to see like generally how it's put together. So you're going to need about two things for this. You're going to need Jupyter Notebook or whatever platform you're going to write your ID on, and you're going to need Microsoft Excel. You can use Google Sheets, but it's going to be annoying. I just really had to re-download Microsoft Office onto this computer because it's a lot simpler to kind of work with the information that we're going to pull in Excel. All right. So that's the first thing we're going to need to do. Next, you gonna need access to this website. So this is called Sports Reference. This is a website I put up first on in the group, if I'm not mistaken. It has data from every single sporting event here. And if you click on the link for any of those sports, like basketball, it'll drop you over to Basketball Reference, and we can start pulling data. All right. So I think the first thing we should do now is pull the data first before we start writing any script. Um, Now I know you're thinking like we could web scrape this data. You could, but I realize in the last year they just added Cloudflare to their computer. I mean to their servers. So scraping this website isn't as easy as it was last year. And as such, I advise not to. I tried to do it earlier and it was just giving me a headache. Is it doable? Yes, but it gives you the data for free. So why even go that route? You're gonna see right now what I mean by that. So we need to get the results of all of the games for the NBA season, for this NBA season. So what we do is once we get to this website, go to seasons, schedule and results for the 2022 to 2023 season. And if you scroll down, it has all of these results in this beautiful table that you can literally export into an Excel workbook. Sorry. But it has them split up for every month. So you're gonna need to download every single month into an Excel workbook. Open it up. Yeah. So see, I just downloaded it. That's why. Click yes. Don't worry. And it's gonna come out like this. So what you're gonna need to do is open up all. You're gonna have to go to every month and just do that. Open up click share and export and get Excel workbook. And you're gonna need to piece it together into one workbook like this. Once you do that, you click file, then you click save as. And from there, you can save it as a CSV file. And you can change the name to like something like NBA. So remember, you have to go to, I'm gonna go through it again. You're gonna have to go through every month, go to share and export, get as Excel workbook, get it for every month, copy and paste them into one worksheet, then save it as an Excel called NBA. And what you can also do is you can save it where you're going to put your projects at. So for me, I have all my projects in my desktop. So I would save this file, save as. I will save this in my documents. Just go to, where is it? Here's it. Documents right there. I will save it in here because that's where I'm going to be writing all my scripts. So wherever you're going to be running your Jupyter notebook or wherever IDE from, it could be on your desktop. I don't know where you run it. For me, I have a folder, as you've seen. I have a folder in my documents called programs, and that's pretty much where I run everything. So that's where I run all my programs from. It's currently empty right now because it's a new computer, so I got to get all those files from my old computer. All right. So once you do that, now we can get into writing some scripts. All right. So let's get into the imports. But you got to have, again, you have to have that file put together and in the directory for where you're going to be writing these programs. If that's your desktop, cool. But like I've always said, I put it in my documents. I create a folder in my documents called programs, and that's where I run all my scripts out of. That's where I have Jupyter Notebook. You see right now, it's actually pulling from my programs folder in my documents. I have all of my scripts in this folder. That's just a cleaner way of kind of making sure all your files are in one place. But yeah, wherever you want to put it, cool by me. If you want to be messy, that's cool. It doesn't really matter, but it's just for making sure everything is siloed in one place and organized. All right. Enough with that. Now let's get into the imports. Import pandas, of course, is PD. I like to bring my imports based on alphabetical order. So oh wait, no. Since it's alphabetical order, I'm actually wrong. It is pandas, but I want to import NumPy first. NP. What else? NP. Okay, now we can import. Now we're going to import scikit-learn, actually from scikit-learn. So if you don't know, scikit-learn is a machine learning library for Python. It's the simplest one. If you're getting into machine learning, this is the library you need to learn. It's the simplest one. And we're going to be using the Ridge model, which is the ridge regression model that I was explaining in the beginning. So let's import from sklearn. Please note, if you do not have scikit-learn, you would have to pip install sklearn. I believe that's pip install. Let me see. Let's see. Install scikit. I haven't done this in a while. Installing scikit-learn. Oh no, you got to use the syntax here, which I'm going to copy right now just so you can see it. Run this to the top. Paste that in, run that. I already have it, so it's good. But that's the syntax you need to use. If you get lost, just Google search it and go to the first website where scikit-learn.org. All right, from scikit-learn.linear. Now, the linear regression model, this is a form of it, and that is, again, linear regression model, if you didn't hear, is like the easiest form of machine learning as well. So it is a part of that model series. It's just a little bit more robust for the rich model. And that's why it takes in a little bit more information than the regular linear regression model. All right. So once we have that, we run that. Enter imports. All right. Now we're going to call our file. So this is where you're going to call the CSV file that you created before. Read underscore CSV. I labeled it NBA. So I'm not using the one that I was showing. I actually had one already created for the whole season. So it's called NBA CSV and it's in my programs folder here. So that's why I can just call it like this and it's gonna pull it up directly. All right, let's do df to see if it comes out. Yep, this is all the data. So you see I had it from October all the way to current times. Now, something you'll probably note right here is that it has not a number value at the end. This is something I kind of was fiddling around. I don't know why it showed up, even though I cleared it out. So we simply just have to drop that last column. So that's where we do df dot drop. And this is where we specify the tail value. So tail, there's tail and head. Tail involves the last 5 values of a data frame. Head is the first 5 values. So we're going to use tail. Why did I use trail? Tail. And we're going to pick the last one. The last one should be right here. So tail start the first of the 5, the last 5. So that's going to be right there. We'll do dot index. So that's the index spot. And then we're going to make sure that we put in place equals true so that it automatically makes the dropping of this last row as a in place of the current data frame. So what that means is basically taking out this last row is going to be permanently added to this data frame call that we put here when we put in place slash true. All right, let's run that. Let's put df again. And you see, it's gone. All right, cool. That's the first way we're going to clean up that data frame. All right. Now, something I want you to note here is PTS.1. So this is just the games, each individual game. This is the visitor and this is the home. You can change these names if you want to. I like to keep it simple, so I'm not going to be changing too much. I don't want to kill it for you guys. These scores are the most important ones. It just lets you know who's the visitor, who's the home, and how much did the visitor have, how many points they had, and how much points did the home team have. And this is important for this model. This is what we're going to be focusing on. Just these 4 columns here. The rest of them we don't really give a crap about. All right. So first thing we need to do, we need to get the difference between these points. And we're going to use that to essentially figure out, did the home team win or not? As you can see, the home team is here. So first we're going to get the difference from this point. So we're going to do df. We're going to create a new column, df dot, I'm going to call it point underscore difference. And it's going to equal df ETS, which is this first column. Actually, we need to get the home one first. Sorry. So it's going to be PTS.1 because it's going to be, yeah, we got to find out the home win or not. So yes, PTS.1. And then that's going to be minus the visitors column. Apologies for that. So we do PT. And that's going to equal points difference. That's going to be a new column in the data frame called points difference. So let's run that real quick. Now let's go to DF so we can see how it looks. Point difference. All right, there we go. All right, so you see 9, 14, 4, -7. So let's see, -7. All right, so that means, yeah, the home team lost. That means the home team lost right there. That means the home team won. Yeah, the home team won the first one, home team won the second one. Yeah, so that means the home team lost when it enters negative. All right. Now let's create if the home wins, let's create that we're gonna create a column for home wins because again, that's the major point of this. So home wins, home win, and that's gonna equal. That's where we're going to use the NumPy library because we're going to start adding in zeros. We're going to actually do a binary. So 0 is going to be if the home team loses. 1 is going to be if the home team wins. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the NumPy library because it's good with that when it comes to those numerical binaries. And we're going to do where, np where, df. So we're going to call the point underscore difference. All right. If it's greater than 0, sorry, greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, give it a 1. I'm going to add that 0. The 0 just to finalize the array. But we're basically saying if it's greater than 0, add a 1. This is just for array purposes. All right. And we're going to do the opposite for losses. The loss NP difference is less than 0. And then we're going to basically say, give it a 0. All right. So in the array, it's going to be of the binary 1 or 0. So we're saying if it's less than 0, if it's greater than 0, give it a 1. If it's less than 0, give it a 0. All right. So that's what we mean by the array here. All right. So let's run that. Let's call df one more time. As you can see, we got 1s and 0s now. All right. So because it was greater, 1 was triggered. It won. This home team lost. All right. And this continues from there. So we're good with that. All right. So you might hear some running. I apologize. That is my dog. She is going crazy. All right. All right. So now we're going to get into setting up our data for the models. So this is where we're going to go into apologies. This is where we're going to go into breaking down some of these columns into sections. So we're going to do df.visitor. And we're going to get dummy values. So this basically will essentially create a structure of values from some data that we're going to provide it. And as you can tell from the name, we're going to actually provide it the visitors here. So the visitors are visitor/neutral. So you're going to get used to this if you get into machine learning. This is essential for like splitting up our data, especially in pandas. So it kind of like cleans up the values for models, if that makes sense. So we do that. And we do D type. And that's just data type. And we want the data type that it returns to be np dot int 64. So yeah, this is how we're going to basically, it's going to get us some dummy values for the visitors column, and we need it to be returned into an integer value from NumPy. Right. So we can copy this, and we could do the same thing for the home, df home. And these are going to be values that we feed to the model. So that's why it has to be into this syntax. All right. We can change this from visitors to home. All right. Now let's run this to make sure this is good. All right, cool. All right. Now our model's almost ready. There's really not much left to do. Hopefully you guys are keeping up, and hopefully you guys are seeing the power of machine learning and seeing how, like, there's a lot of data prepping for it. So we're gonna get into the model right about now. So we use df model on df underscore home sub. And this is where we're going to now split up these two values here. We're going to create a sub value here for our model to feed into, and it's just going to take in the visitors values that we actually created from here. All right. And the second thing we need to do, we need to also feed this model is the point difference. If you remember, we created up there. We created up there for a reason, because it's going to be another value that is important for the model to take into account when it creates the ratings, right? And this simply will equal the model, the point difference that we created up here. I could just copy this. All right. Let's run this and make sure it's clear. We are clear. We are good. Now let's train. So now let's train the model. So I'm going to call df dot, 1 second, about that. Anyway, df underscore train, because now, apologies, train. We're going to train the model now, because you have to. So what we did here is pretty much create the data needed for the model, which is going to be the training data. Train model. I actually have not been using, I haven't been using comments, but pretty much now we're going to be training the model on the data that we created up here. So model. So it's going to be the train model. All right. And now we're going to do linear regression. Is going to equal, and this is what we're going to call ridge, which it's going to be the regression model here. And we got to set an alpha. Let me show you. There was a call up here for the alpha. But you can read through it here. It just needs for an alpha to be called. It can't be in a 0 value. So you're typically going to use this value now I'm going to be specifying here. So remember this for future use cases, 0.001. All right. And our X value, again, so every machine learning model has an X and a Y value. Those are the values that are going to be fed to the model. So first is the X value. So we're going to do df.train, .drop. Point difference. And it's going to be on the first axis. So remember dependent and independent variables, stick algebra. So X will help feed into Y. So now the Y value is going to be df.train point underscore difference. And I actually spelled that wrong. All right. So
let's look at this real quick. So again, this is literally just the model that we create up here. So if you think about it, the X value is literally just the first one here. The Y value is just the point difference that we created above here too. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be judging each team based off the home and win loss, which is the point difference. So that's essentially what we're building right here. And now for the model, we have to fit the X and Y values into the model. So X, Y, let's run that. And good, ridge value is good. So now let's do a rating. And that's going to equal, let's see, that's going to be PD dot data frame, always capital F for data frame, data equals, let's go into, and that's going to be the team value here. So essentially once it kind of goes through, we need to assign these to each team so that we can like get a rate for each team. All right. All right. And then we're going to label it rating. And that's going to be the coefficient. So the model will be returning a coefficient and we're going to basically just use it as the rating. All right. So it's just going to return a coefficient and we're just going to assign it to rating. But the team, which is up here, teams here, they're going to be essentially going to be the team and the coefficient next to it, which is returned from where we fit it in here. All right. And let's run this. And now let's see what the ratings are showing us. Boom. Here we go. Now each one of them are rated. Again, this is all based on the model trying to take into account the point difference. All right. And the point difference is taking in whether they won or lost at home. So those are the two things it's taking. And lastly, to make sense of this, I'm going to sort these values because it's all over the place. So I want to show you guys basically who are the best teams based on what it's saying here. df.rating dot sort underscore values. And we're going to sort them by the rating. Sort them by rating. And ascending equals false. That way we can get the highest ratings first on the list. So here we go. So saying the Boston Celtics are the highest rating team based on homes and wins losses for this season. Cavs are next, 76ers, Bucks, et cetera, et cetera. What you should do with this information is you should look on your sports book and see like on any matchup with these top teams if they are the favorite. Almost all times you're going to see that they are the favorite because and this model kind of that's what I'm saying, this model kind of supports that. Now it does not take into account injuries and stuff like that. But even with that, if you go in any sports book, you're going to see they're always the favorite. These teams are always the favorites. So with that, it works. But like I said, it does have the bias of not taking into account injuries. All right. But yeah, this is generally how it works. Now you can play with this too. I would definitely say take this structure here, rewatch this video a couple of times, please. It's a lot. It's a lot. And try to see if you can do this. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can actually do this for hockey. I know hockey's easy and football. Baseball's a little bit murky. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be a little bit hard. But hockey, yeah, you can go to hockey at the top, seasons, schedule and results, and it has it here. But you see, it has GG. But again, it's just the same way like where we had points. So what you can do is just relabel this in Excel. When you download this regular season Excel, label this G2 and just do G2 minus G. Like, let me show you where it was. To get the point difference, yeah, I did the home team points minus the visitor points. you can just do G1 minus the visitor points G. So remember to do that when you go to hockey. Label this G1 and just label this G, and then make sure you make that subtraction. So it's really easy with that. Football, same thing as well too. I believe football is the same thing. Winner, tie. So yeah, they have points. So you might have to label this second column. Actually, this is not really saying who's the home team. Oh shit. So it actually might be set up home, but I would definitely say look into this more. And whichever one is the home team, just label it as one and just do the same thing here. So that's just part of the cleaning up in Excel. Make sure you do those. So that's my little tip for you guys. But other than that, play with this a little bit, watch this 1,000 times, see if you understand it. And when you guys are ready, well, actually when I'm ready to finally show you guys this, I'm going to show you the full project. This one, including the odds data. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a taste of it, and this is what it is. This is machine learning, man. It is a headache, it's annoying, but if you understand how the independent dependent variables work and how to clean up data, it's actually pretty simple. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a great night. Peace.